I don't think there's enough plants in this game. Or at least, maybe I only do because I love plants so much and no amount of them will ever be enough to me, but I do believe we could do with a little more. So, if you're like me, and you feel like you're in need of some floral diversity for builds, I might just have the solution for you. Hi, I'm Rabadzu, and today I want to show you a few tips and tricks on how to build your own custom plants using vanilla blocks only. Yeah, don't mind me just running the imagine for a second. Anyways, I wanted to start off with this build because, I mean, a lot of the plants here are done with programs like World Edit, so you wouldn't normally be able to do this in survival, which is unfortunate, but I do think it's a nice place to start off with as an introduction, because you could kind of just see the range of what's possible, and if you're a creative builder, then I hope maybe this can serve as inspiration, hopefully, with, for example, ferns on bamboo that kind of just look like tree ferns kind of plants, I guess. Or you could do something as simple as flowers on bushes. And finally, this one is a trick as old as time. These are actually sunflower stems, and if you place them vertically like this, they kind of look like hanging vines. And this one, you would see it used on builds from like 2015 because it's just such a good trick. But now let's get to the core of the video. I actually want to get to some more survival friendly tricks, so let's do this. Oop, let's go. This is quite the change of scenery. We're currently in an SMP I'm in. This is my starter base area, so none of the builds here are mine except this one and the river. Don't mind the giant beat I've said. The reason I'm here is because a few months ago I terraformed the riverbeds around this area, and I thought, you know, there's a few custom plants that I thought could be interesting to show in this video. One of them is this duckweed right here. It's so simple to do, it's just waterlogged leaves. I prefer to use leaves like acacia, azalea, or birch because they've got that sort of rounded pattern, and I just use birch to kind of like ease the transition in between the very bright azalea and the water. Don't, okay. It was gonna unalive itself. There, fine. No, stop. And another thing is those lotus flowers here. Now, you kind of have to use your imagination, but again, they're so simple. It's just candles on water. Maybe try to vary the number of candles you're stacking, just to give it some interest. And we've also got those cattails. Now, I don't think those are my design, but it's a very commonly used design. You can use the tall grass if you want a more bushy look, or the plain glass pane if you want maybe just a singular cattail. One thing though to keep in mind when doing these is that you can't place candles on tall grass, you have to place them on a placeholder block and remove that and place the tall grass beneath. Same thing for the water, just, you know, in case you're struggling a bit with that. And yeah, I feel like those three additions already bring so much to the river and kind of like tie the whole environment together. It's gone. No, stop. I'm trying to save your life, please. There we go. Here we are in a completely different world. This is actually a creative build that I did maybe like a year ago, and I just added some new custom tropical plants for me to showcase to you. Starting with this pineapple field right here. This is one of my favorite tricks. It's so cute, and it's pretty simple. It's essentially bamboo stem, honeycomb block, and potted fern, and then you just add some greenery, shrubbery around it to act as the pineapple leaves. But I mean, yeah, it's relatively simple. If you wonder how to get the bamboo stem like that and not just have the shoots, you actually have to grow a bamboo with bone meal, break everything except the first block, and then you can build the rest of your pineapple on top of it. That's pretty much it. I really like it, especially at a like medium scale like this. I think it's pretty good. Now on to some palm trees. Now, I won't be explaining how to build the actual trees in this video because it's a pretty long process. Might do another video to talk about this later. But I am here to talk about the two things that are going on under those trees. First of all, we have a banana tree right here, which again, really simple. Oops, that's not supposed to be there. As you can see, these are made of stripped bamboo blocks with a spruce or dark oak button on the bottom. I also used fence posts to symbolize the stem. Just place those under your palms and you're good to go. But you know what's even simpler than those bananas? These coconuts, which are made of stripped dark oak wood, hanging roots to represent the fluff of the coconut, I guess. I also built some that have fallen down with a blacksmith button to represent the holes of the coconuts. And you know what? I was thinking, I think dark oak wood might work better than the strip one because yeah, it's got more of a hairy, fluffy look, which I think is more accurate. So, you know, that's me improvising as I go. But like, yeah, we're always learning. That's the mentality, I guess. And finally, for this area, the chenille plant bush, which I know it's a bit of a mouthful. It's a very specific plant. But if you know what I mean, like IRL, it looks so cool. Like it's got those sort of very like long, pinkish, reddish, fluffy flowers. And I kind of wanted to replicate it in Minecraft, and this is the best that I've got. Using mangrove fences, fence gates, red candles, all that being placed on a sort of big bush. Here I used kind of like a mix of leaves to create a gradient, some dark prismarine slabs to give it a better shape, and that's pretty much it. Oh, also some red stained glass paints. Yeah, I think that's a pretty cute trick. I think I'm gonna use it a bit more. We are now in a greenhouse that I built on the same SMP I mentioned earlier because I wanted to show you guys a few custom flowers that I had built around here. Starting with these, which are supposed to represent a rafflesia. If you don't know what that is, I think they're like the biggest flowers in the world, and apparently they smell really bad. That's the two things that I know about them. But yeah, it's just a decorated pot with a red carpet on top. Now, if you're in creative, I would suggest waterlogging the pots and instead of carpets, using a red coral fan. Because I don't know, I just feel like it gives a more rounded look. But you know, this is the best we can do in survival, unfortunately. And the last one here is the most complicated one yet, I feel like. This is a small wisteria tree. I know it looks kind of complex, but if you break it down, you've got your branches. I'm pretty sure you could use any type of wood and it would work. And then the most interesting part is the leaves. You've got your amethyst for the colors, then your glass for some transparency, some flowering azalea leaves to still have the plant look, and then, you know, your amethyst spots to kind of give that drapey look that wisteria has in real life. I just kind of mixed all those together with maybe a few glass panes to round things up. I'm pretty sure this would look better at a larger scale, but unfortunately this is all I have space for here. You know what? We've seen some tricks for your rivers, for custom flowers, your tropical areas. How about some tricks for a nice farmhouse? How about some crops? And this is exactly what we're doing here. This is another creative build that you might recognize from Twitter. But today we are here to talk about those custom crop fields that I made just for this video. So let's check them out. Starting with this vineyard right here. It's a bit of a messy one, so I'm gonna try my best to explain it step by step. What I did first is that I created those stripes alternating between coarse dirt for the paths and grass. Then I started placing azalea bushes every 2 blocks with another block of azalea leaves on top. I used a bit of flowering azalea because they kind of give the illusion of pulper grape hanging out the vines. Then I placed some shrubbery around it to really sell the vineyard look, so you know, basically large ferns, moss, grass, whatever. And for the final touch, some purple candles. Now, you'll see that for these tricks especially, candles are gonna be our best friends because they're just really good at mimicking really any small object of color. And here they kind of look like grapes. I mean, you gotta You gotta use your imagination a little bit and not stand too close. But I feel like in the overall context of the vineyard, they do, right? Right, they do. And this is gonna be one of my favorite tricks ever. As you can see, this is very much a cornfield, which is made of 2 bamboo and a yellow candle. Same trick as for the pineapples. If you want to get some leaves going on your bamboo, just bone meal it until you get the amount that you're happy with, break the 3rd block, and place your candle. It's so simple, I love it. And yeah, I just use coal dots to really make it look like a field, and that's it. Continuing onto our candle trend, and you better start to get some bee farms going because this is one way to create a really cute rice fields. I mostly used lime candles, also a bit of drip leaves to vary things up. It does kind of look very geometrical, but I don't think that's a problem because rice fields do have that look IRL as well. But overall, you really just have to imagine this on a way larger scale. Like imagine if this was covering the entire hill right here. I think it might look pretty cool. I really hope those ideas were inspiring for you. But now, there is a bit of a bonus segment to this video, because until now I've only really been showing you the final products, but when it comes to creating little building tricks like this, I feel like the process is just as, if not more important. So, oh my god. What I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna set myself a bit of a challenge. I'm going to pick a plant from real life and I'll try and replicate it in Minecraft for the first time, so that you can kind of see what my creative process is like, and maybe it can give you some ideas as for creating your own unique designs. So yeah, as you can see, we're in the creative test worlds again, and the plants that I picked was a butterfly bush. It's one of my favorite plants IRL. I think it's very lovely, plus it's pretty large, so it shouldn't be too much of a trouble to replicate. First of all, I'm going to create just a little setting, like maybe a brick wall, so that the bush just has something to stand against, I guess. There we go, just something simple like this. I don't really need anything more than that. When looking at reference images, I kind of find that the butterfly bush has those like long leaves, which I think kind of match the mangroves, so that's what I'm going to use, but we're going to use some other leaf type as well to create a sort of gradient probably. You know what, I like this. I think that's a pretty nice bush. Now, we are going to add the flowers. Looking at the color and the shape, I think that the lilac is our best bet, but we might try other flowers such as the allium or even some candles. To place those inside of our bush though, we are going to use little sneaky moss blocks. Let's see what this looks like. This looks great. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Plus, you don't really even notice the moss blocks because they're just inside of the bush. The problem with this though is that we don't really have anything to put in front of it. So I think this is where candles are going to come in handy. And that's the annoying part, because if you don't want to use world edits or you're in survival, you kind of just have to do some placeholder blocks like this. But yeah, it's not exactly the same color, but it does the trick. I think we'll just accept that this is imperfect, and it's okay, it's fine. I wonder if pink would bug better. Oh, yeah, it kind of does actually, but then it's not. I still feel like it's too far from the original color that I see in my references, so I'm gonna stick to magenta. I think this is looking pretty neat. Plus, the shape really fits. I feel like it's pretty similar to what you would see in real life. And to make it even more realistic, I'm going to use a few brown candles because if you look at real pictures of butterfly bushes, a lot of times a few flowers have faded, so that's kind of just a way to mimic that. You know what? Yeah, I think two is plenty, that's enough. But there is one last thing that I wanted to do to make the bush a bit bushier. Let me check something for a bit. I just switched to 1.21.5 and there is something that I wanted to check out for a while. Let me see. Does this work? Oh yeah, it does. You know what? It's a pretty neat color as well. So yeah, I'm gonna use a few actual bush block to just help the whole thing feel a bit more natural, I guess. Yeah, okay, we don't need too much of it. I think that's pretty good. This one can maybe go. I think it's a bit too much. Right, we're good. And now for the finishing touches, just a bit of dirt to make it feel a bit more anchored into the environment. Some tall grass, and I'll tell you what, I think we did it. I think it's done. So yeah, what do you think? What do you think of our butterfly bush? Is it accurate? Is it good looking? I don't know, I think I'm pretty proud of it. So I guess this is another one added to my collection. If you feel like doing some stuff like that in your world, please, please, please do send them to me on my platforms. I would love to see them. Like, you know, I'm just a plant kind of person. As a conclusion, I think this is gonna be it for today. Oh yeah, by the way, I've added a spore blossom in there. It was just too good of an occasion. And also, this was my first Minecraft video ever, so if it felt kind of DIY, then that's probably why. I will gladly accept feedback in the comments if you have some to hopefully make them a bit better in the future. I will also be listing all the quality of life mods that I'm using in the description. I know that people crave for those, so yeah, I'm gonna do that. And in the meantime, I guess that I'll see you later. That's it.